I think I have my life together now. Can you guys see me? There goes my alarm again. Welcome back, guys. This is Natty B after cancer, and I'm gonna get my life together and I'll be back in 2 minutes. Okay, I'm back. I think I've got my life together. I'm basically on the floor today. I'm not sitting on my little comfy space here, but today I am here to talk to you guys about the fact that I don't use deodorant. I quit deodorant fully almost a year ago. And I mean, when I say deodorant, I mean of any kind. So any that you would actually like go buy in the store, to include the natural, non-toxic deodorants. I quit aluminum-based and paraben-based deodorants after I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And then I just wiped out any known or any typical or conventional Western type of deodorant. I completely canceled that out. And there's a couple of reasons for that. When you go through something like breast cancer, you kind of, well, not everyone doesn't go through this, but a lot of us kind of go through this phase of, and let me not say it's a phase because it's really not, but we really work hard on studying and trying to figure out what are some of the things that we can eliminate from our lives to not necessarily just eliminate from our lives to be a little bit healthier. So whether that's certain food items, whether that's your deodorant, whether that's your body wash, whether that's your cleaning products, or you may not change anything at all. Cancer is so complicated, and to the point where you can change your entire life. You can move off grid. You can live out in nature and never have touched anything before and still develop cancer. So please, please, please don't be that person who's like, well, just eat this or don't eat that, because there are a lot of people in this world who do exactly those things and still end up with breast cancer, not once, not twice, not thrice, sometimes several times, because there's so many other things. You could have never touched deodorant a day in your life. You could have never used a toxic product ever, and the body will still do what it does. Yeah, so anyway, I completely got to a point of realizing that I actually don't need deodorant. Now, I of course use something in place because, as we know, the body releases, our sweat glands release those toxins out of our body when it mixes and gets all in the air. The hair that grows under your underarms, it releases a very particular scent known as body odor. And of course, to avoid that, there are some things that I do, as well as there's something that I use to mitigate experiencing body odor. So before I was diagnosed with cancer, I was using the typical Suave. See that? So I was using the typical deodorant that you would get at like Target, Walmart, whatever. Then after I was diagnosed with cancer, I started using Crystal, which has no aluminum in it. It also has no parabens in it. Now, deodorant is a product that has controversial and harmful toxic products in it. And there are studies that say that, especially when your breast cancer is driven by estrogen, so estrogen receptor positive, some studies say that there is a connection between aluminum-based products such as deodorant and a risk of breast cancer. So the study isn't saying that there is a direct correlation, but there is a potential higher risk if you are using aluminum-based products, and deodorant is not the only aluminum-based product. So I'm going to read off some of the 5 main toxic products that are found in deodorant, and I'm going to read it just because I can't really say these things. I'm going to put it on the screen as well. But the one that most of us are familiar with, parabens, it also contains triclosan, phthalates, propylene glycol, and aluminum. You know, and so again, aluminum-based, you know, products, compounds, and antiperspirants, deodorants have been said, you know, to be a risk factor for breast cancer. But then there are opposing studies that say it's totally not connected. So my decision was based more so on the fact that even if there's not, science doesn't show that there is a great enough correlation, cause and effect with aluminum paraben-based deodorant, it doesn't hurt to not use a product that's full of other toxic waste that we don't need and that's not helpful. So anyway, when I transitioned to crystal, I found that so I'm a sweater. And when I transitioned to using crystal, I found that I sweated a lot more than I usually did. And like I said, I'm already a sweater, so this was not fun. I mean, I was sweating through my shirts. The summertime is the worst, but I liked it because it still did the job. I was just really, really sweaty, but it did the job. And I also noticed one of the reasons that I continue to use it is I noticed that my underarm area, I don't know if I can show you guys, is like it lightened all the way up. And if you're melanated like me, we all know that your underarms after years of shaving can start to have all of those, you know, dark marks and like bumps and stuff like that. So when I stopped using like regular deodorant such as Suave with parabens and aluminum, all of that started to go away. Not completely, but it started to go away. Now, it wasn't until I stopped using it altogether that I literally, my underarms went from being like spotty and having dark patches and, you know, bumps from shaving to just being smooth and like 3 shades lighter. Now, I also did go through a detox phase where I would take fresh lemons and I would rub it under my underarms to kind of phase myself out of these toxic products into a more natural state. I have not used any like types of deodorants in the last, it's gotta be almost about 8.5, 9 months. And no one has told me I stink yet. Not even my husband. I don't stink. But so I guess you guys want to use what I want to know what I do use, right? So I use something that I've actually been using since I was like 15 years old. I use Egyptian musk oil. Now, I used to, my mom and I, or my family and I, we would travel to New York, and you know, in New York, they've got all of these street sellers, and our number one buy every time we went to New York, we would buy a large jar of Egyptian musk oil. And that has been like our go-to smell. So it's not like perfume, it's not, we would use perfume, but Egyptian musk was our thing. We'd hop out of the shower and we'd rub ourselves in Egyptian musk. People are always asking me, what is it that you're wearing? And a lot of times it's such a part of my hygiene routine that I forget that I'm wearing it. And it's such a part of like me that I don't even smell it anymore. But people are always asking me, well, what are you wearing? So anyway, Egyptian musk oil is our go-to, and I've been using it since I was 15. And one day I just sat there and I said, this is a natural product. Why am I not using it here? So I decided, okay, no more. I'm going to test and see how this is. And so I started using my Egyptian musk oil, not only on my skin for, you know, the scent, but also under my underarms in replacement for deodorant. So the first couple of weeks, I had to apply it. When I started using it, it was like early, like summer. It was like midsummer. I would have to apply it a couple of times a day because I felt like it would wear off. And if I stank, nobody let me know, but I felt like it was getting there after about 6.5, 7 hours. So I would carry one of these with me, and this has a little bit in it. And I have it in my purse, and I would just like find a bathroom or something, and I'd rub a little bit more under my underarms, and I'd be good for the rest of the day. And it wasn't until about a month into it that I realized that I only needed to use it once a day, how much is good enough to apply in the morning. Of course, I apply a little bit more in the summertime than I do during the colder months. I sweat my usual self. Like I said, I'm a sweater, and I haven't had any issues with it. That's what I've been using. This product, I'm gonna tell you guys what Egyptian musk is made with. And I either usually have it in a jar like this or a jar like this. And there are oil sellers that you can purchase this from. Amazon does sell it, but listen, you've got to be very careful because there's a lot of fake out there. I don't remember where I got this particular one, but it's an actual oil seller that I purchased this one from. The one in this jar, someone made it for me, but I'm going to give you guys the product, so if you want to make it yourself, you can. Ready? Cedarwood oil, musk seed oil, patchouli essential oil, rose petal oil, oil of myrrh, amber oil. I don't know if it's jojoba or jojoba, but I say jojoba oil, and sweet almond oil, which is what gives it that awesome, really strong, but not overpowering fragrance. It can also be made with jasmine and or coconut oil. Those are options too. So all of those ingredients don't necessarily have to go into it. One or two ingredients can replace the other, but you don't want to do too much of a drastic change because then you're just going to completely change the scent. But if you want to change the scent, that is a-okay as well. What I love about Egyptian musk oil or natural oils is that it's paraben free, it's aluminum free, and it's honestly free of any toxic products because it is 100% oil based. Now, it is a very, very thick consistency. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's a very, very thick consistency. I love it. This is not a smell for everyone. Not everyone would like this smell. But again, I'm so used to it. I've been using it for 18 years consistently and almost a year as my deodorant replacement. So anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about today. That is an option to replace your deodorant. But if you're not ready to go that far and you no longer want to use these toxic based style deodorants, excuse me, you can start with Crystal, which is a good product, paraben free, aluminum free, and just overall it's been awesome. So yeah, I don't use deodorant, guys, and this is how I stay not musty. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe. How many of you guys are no longer using deodorants, or what other products have you changed on this journey, or just in general, even if you haven't gone through cancer, what are some things that you have decided to forego just to feel better about yourself and to be a little bit healthier? So yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Like, comment, subscribe, and until next time.